Hey guys, I just wanted to get back to you on the homework number 12. So I'm gonna work it on. I figured it out, so I'm gonna work it on with you guys, but I'm gonna use my numbers. So for me, it was given that my AS, it's equal 13 meters per second square, and then my velocity at t equals -2 seconds, it's equal 10 meters per second, and I wanna find the velocity at t equals 6. So the velocity that was given to me, it was at t equals -2. So at this point over here, and we want to find the velocity at t equals 6, which is this point all the way down there. And we know that we have a graph that is acceleration as a function of time. So we know that the area below the curve, it's the change of velocity, right? So we were giving the initial velocity, and then if we know how much the velocity is changing in that frame of time for -2 to 6, we can figure out the final velocity. So we're going to try to find out the area below the curve. And what we were missing from earlier is that we always want to think about the x-axis as our base of the triangle, because that's what it means for the area below the curve. So if we think about that, we have two triangles. We have this green triangle over here. This is one. And then we have this little yellow triangle all the way down here. Important thing is that anytime we have something that is above the x-axis, that's going to be a positive, right? So this is going to give us a positive change. And then anytime we have something that is below the x-axis, that's going to give us a negative change. So that's going to be a negative. So we just have to calculate that. We know that the height of the green triangle is 13, because from the origin to AS, that's 13. Each one of you guys were given a different scale, so just keep that in mind. So from here to here, we know that this is 13 meters per second square. And then as the base, we have from -2 to 4. This will give us 6 seconds, right? So we just have to calculate the area of the triangle. So we would have 13 times 6. The area, base times height. This is times divided by 2, because this is a triangle. So this will give us an area of 39. And then we have to calculate the area of the little triangle. So the area of the small triangle, we know that from here to here, we have two little squares, right? So we have like 2 units, but we just have to find out how much a unit is. So we know, we talked about this earlier, so I think everyone's good with that. We know that from the origin to AS, that's going to be 13. So we have 6 little units. So every little square for us would be 13 divided by 6, right? So for us, on my problem, 1 unit, it's equal 13 divided by 6. 13 meters per second square. That's important. Don't forget your units. And then the height of the little triangle, the yellow triangle, is 2 units. So 13 divided by 6 times 2. This here will just give us 13 meters per second square divided by 3. So this is the height of that small triangle. And then we know that the base of that triangle would be 2 seconds. And then calculating that area, we have 13 divided by 3 meters per second square times 2 seconds divided by 2, because it's a triangle. If you guys agree with me, we can just cancel out 2 and 2, and then 1 second will cancel out with the second, which will give us, I'm just going to pull my answer all the way down here. This will just give us 13 divided by 3 meters per second. Also, just important, don't forget your units all the way over here. 39, that's also meters per second. Awesome. So we have the areas. We know that the area of the big one, it's 39, and then we know that the area of the small one is 13.3. Although we know that the green one, it's above the x-axis, so that's going to be a positive. And then the 13 divided by 3, the small triangle, that's below the x-axis, so that's going to give us a negative. So now we do have all of the change in velocities, right? Because we calculated the area, so we can find the velocity at t equals 6. We know that the initial velocity, it's 10 meters per second. So 10 meters per second, that's your initial velocity. And then we're adding those changes. So then we're gonna add a positive 39 because that's how much the velocity changed from -2 to 4. So positive 39 meters per second. And then we're adding again the second triangle, but the second triangle gives us an area of -13/3. So -13/3 meters per second. So all this here is the change in velocity. And then this will give us a final velocity. I'm just gonna calculate that very quick. This will give us a velocity of 44.667 meters per second. And that would be our final answer. That will be our velocity at t equals 6 seconds. So just to clarify what we were getting wrong the other time is that whenever we calculate areas below the curve, we are looking at the x-axis as our base. It doesn't matter if the triangle is above, it doesn't matter if the triangle is below the axis. We're always gonna treat the x-axis as our base. And we have to keep in mind, so if the triangle is above the x-axis, that's gonna give us a positive area. If the triangle is below the x-axis, that's gonna give us a negative area. So I hope that it helped. So this here was actually the right answer. I work with another student too. She also got a right answer. So I hope it will work out for you guys. If you guys have any questions, if you guys still do not understand, just reply to this email and then we'll try to figure out a way for you guys to understand that problem. Okay? Thank you guys so much. See you guys next time.